Welcome, guys. This weekend we've got the Arena Open. I notice we've also got a qualifier play-in. I might try both of those, but I'll give the Open a shot. Both of them are going to be Duskmourne sealed. 25,000 gold. Here we go. And this is my first time playing Duskmourne in Limited. So it will be a learning experience. Now, I have seen the Rollercrusher Ride. Sorry, not roller coaster, Rollercrusher. This would seem to be a red board sweeper. It's quite expensive. So it's sort of 3 mana up front and then X. It's an enchantment. So when it enters play, it deals X damage to each of up to X target creatures. So let's say you've got 6 mana. You're paying 3 on the upfront cost, and then your X is 3. You're doing 3 damage to 3 different targeted creatures. In fact, it says each of up to 3 target creatures. I wonder if you can target the same creature more than once. You have to really think about the wording there. Possibly not, I'm going to guess. And the extra factor, if you have Delirium, which is I'm still not quite clear on. Yes, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, it will deal double damage. So in the example with where X is 3, you're spending 6 mana, then you're doing 6 damage to 3 different creatures. I think that is going to be pretty good, honestly. It's you're hitting multiple targets. It's like a one-way board sweeper. You're only going to be playing it late in the game. You don't want to see it in your opening hand, but it could be a big breakthrough card. We'll go through. Actually, I'll look at this red card because we probably, if you've been playing standard, you may have seen this card, Leyline of Resonance. It's a leyline, so if it's in your opening hand, you begin the game with it on the battlefield. This one means whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single creature you control, you copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. So this may be completely useless in limited because you're going to need instant or sorcery spells that have a beneficial effect on your own creatures, like a giant growth or something like that you can duplicate. And you only usually you might have 2 or 3 of those. So this is probably going to be useless, to be honest, in this format. Right, we have a green and red card. Green, red, and 2. Peer past the veil. Instant. Discard your hand, then draw X cards. Where X is the number of card types among cards in your graveyard. Okay. It is an instant speed card draw spell in green and red. The absolute ceiling for this card would be drawing. How many card types are there in this? Well, in this set, there's probably no. I imagine there aren't any battle cards in this set. I'm going to guess. Probably not too many planeswalkers. You might be able to draw 4 or 5 cards with this, but usually you'll manage to draw a couple of cards. So it's sort of 4 mana instant, end of their turn, draw 2 cards. Maybe you'll draw 3. Which is okay, and I think it's better because it's in green and red. It's green and red card, draw card. It's not the usual blue card draw card. We have Balustrade Wurm. This is good. This beat me up the other day. So 5 mana, you get a 5/5 trample haste. It can't be countered. Pretty good. With Delirium and 4 mana, return Balustrade Wurm from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Activate if only if there are 4 different card types in your graveyard. Okay. So I'm just thinking of card types you want: enchantment, artifact, creature, land, sorcery, instant. That's 6. Um, you're probably unlikely to see. There probably won't be any battles in there. That unlikely to see a planeswalker. So 6 is probably. I must be thinking. I'm always certainly forgetting something, but it's usually going to be 6 is the most. One thing we're going to look out for are lands, sacrifice lands that let you search for another land type. Those are usually pretty useful for this kind of thing. And then self-mill effects. Looks like green-red is the sort of self-mill deck. I just played against the red-green self-mill deck anyway. We've got room cards. Room, it says you may cast either half. That door unlocks on the battlefield. As a sorcery, you may pay the mana cost of a locked door to unlock it. Right? So you can go for the more expensive side and pay the cheaper cost to get the cheaper side as well. So this one in particular, it's called Roaring Furnace Steaming Sauna. So for 2 mana, you probably play your Roaring Furnace. So let's say you pay it on turn 2. Deals damage equal to the number of cards in your hand to target creature. So it's a removal spell. Pretty good. 2 mana, probably might do 6 or 7 damage on turn 2. Pretty much kill anything. If you draw it later, the creature removal aspect of it is not so good. But then you might, at 5 mana, you can play Steaming Sauna, no maximum hand size, and then you draw an extra card in your end step. So it's a one-way Howling Mine, which is pretty good. And then you've got the removal bit. So I'm pretty happy to see this card. This seems good. You want one-way Howling Mines in your limited deck. And then we've got another blue rare, Central Elevator and Promising Stairs. Right, so the elevator for 4 mana or the stairs for 3. Elevator, you search your library for a room card that doesn't have the same name as a room you control, reveal it, put in your hand, and then shuffle. Okay, the elevator gets you to maybe your steaming sauna. Okay. The promising stairs for 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. You win the game if there are 8 or more different names among unlocked doors or rooms you control. If I understand that correctly, that means 4 different room cards where all the rooms are unlocked. But you need 4 different rooms for that. You might not even have 4 different rooms, which would be a shame. Then you probably wouldn't want to play this card. But anyway, it's a nice sort of alternative win condition. And we have an artifact here. We do want to see lots of different card types. We've got, I guess, room's not a card type; it's an enchantment. Is the type on this artifact, creature, another enchantment, instant enchantment. So it's good to see an artifact. It's 4 mana. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a time counter on Cursed Recording. Then, if there are 7 or more time counters on it, Remove those counters. And it deals 20 damage to you. Okay. Next part better be good. Tap it. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, um, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Okie dokie. Right. You can, so it is a reusable fork. Right. You can copy any instant or sorcery. You'd want to tap this before you cast it. Great. It's a sort of reusable fork. Whenever you cast one, though, you put a time counter on this. And once it's got 7. So you can do 6 spells. You can cast 6 spells, instants and sorceries, before the thing blows up and kills you. It might be fun to sort of give this to your opponent with 6 time counters. I don't think that's going to happen very often, but it might be very, very funny to do that. So we've got some red, some green, some blue. Let's look at our rares again and remind ourselves what we've got. Yeah, I think this green creature is pretty good. I think what we're going to do, I'm going to add all of these right now. And then first we're going to maybe eliminate the completely useless rares. We need at least 4 rooms in the deck to actually get the room win condition. Okay, of course, there are creatures that interact with rooms. That's 3. Oh, nice. So this helps you get a land out. I like to see that. And it makes a 5/5 thing. Probably ought to look at what these things do because they might be useless. You might not want to play them. Yeah, okay, that's okay. Creature that can pump something up. Draw 2, lose 2. And okay, lets you sort of attack the creature and sort of trade up potentially. Good news, we do have at least 4 rooms. We have, in fact, we've got 3 rooms here plus these 2, so we've got 5 rooms. So there's a possibility we could get all of our rooms unlocked and win the game. I think it is the definition of a long shot. Um, we're also going to think about Leyline of Resonance, I think, and instants and sorceries as well, which Cursed Recording is relevant. We'll just do it. We'll do a check on instants and sorceries. Okay, in blue we have 3. Okay, that's good. That's a count spell. That's fine. So that doesn't seem very good. It's a 3 mana sorcery speed bounce, but it lets you put a 2/2 creature into play. That's what Manifest Dread means. But then you can play it face up for its mana cost if it's a creature. Maybe Manifest. I'm under. Maybe yeah. Manifest Dread might be pretty good, I suppose. Vanish from sight. Okay, another bounce spell. Bounce to the top of library spell. So we'll add these to the deck. I'm particularly interested, I guess, in blue, red, green. That's where our rares are. Betrayer's Bargain. 5 damage. And basically 4 mana. But yeah, you could sacrifice something if in rare circumstances, I would say. Pyroclasm is 2 damage to everything. Very good. Scorching Dragonfire, 3 damage. That's great. Impossible Inferno, 6 damage. For 5 mana. Doesn't get cheaper. But it can give you card advantage. You can exile a card off the top sometimes. Okay. Let's look at the green ones. Monstrous Emergence. You have to choose a creature you control or reveal a creature card from your hand. Deals damage equal to the power of that creature you chose. All the cards you revealed. Okay. So it's like a punch spell, but you can punch with cards from your hand. Quite good. Say its name. Okay, I have seen this. So you mill 3, return a creature or land from graveyard to hand. Exile this card and 2 other cards named say its name from your graveyard. Well, we've only got 1 copy of it. Altonac the Thrice Called. Well, we didn't see that card. I assume it must be a rare. Is milling 3 cards and getting a land from your graveyard or a creature good? I think it's quite useful, possibly in a pinch. So we might think about that card. I've seen Ride to the Moth as well with the new Reanimator deck. Of course, 4 mana reanimation is pretty good, especially with flashback. Think about that. We've got a green, red Beastie Beatdown. The Delirium part says you put 2 +1/+1 on the creature you control. Creature you control deals damage equal to its power to the creature your opponent controls. I'm guessing that part is separate from the Delirium part because it's a separate paragraph. They haven't made that completely clear, but I'm sure that must be how it works. So that's another hunch card. Pretty good. And then we've got a couple of black removal cards. Live or die. Okay, so it's a 5 mana kill card, or you can instantly bring something back from the graveyard. That could be very good, actually. So that's our instants and sorceries. Leyline of Resonance in particular, we're looking for a pump spell that targets a single creature. So Beastie Beatdown actually targets 2 creatures. We've got some burn spells. I don't think we got a single target pump spell at all. So I think we and I think targeting a creature from the graveyard probably doesn't count as well. Yeah, I think we can rule out Leyline of Resonance. I think that's completely useless. That's that's what we can do so far with those. Right, I'm going to go through color by color now. Um, I'm going to look for more removal cards. I'm going to look for evasion creatures. And I'm going to look for any cheap mana fixing effects, scrying for like one or two mana, ramp, putting lands into play, or just digging for lands, and anything that's a bomb that's basically drawing me an extra card every turn, that kind of thing. Possessed goat. Okay, so this can become a 4/4 creature if you discard a card. I don't think there's anything particularly good about that. Fear of surveillance, 2/2 vigilance, and it lets you surveil, and it counts as an enchantment, which is quite handy. I think that's okay. I think that is something we come back to though. Sheltered by Ghosts is pretty incredible. It removes a non-land permanent an opponent controls. Your creature gets wood to lifelink and +1/0. So that's an incredible card. Hardened Escort. Okay, I can make something else indestructible. It's okay. Living Phone. When Living Phone dies, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may get a creature with power 2 and put it into your hand. So it's a bit of card advantage if you can. It might whiff. It's quite restrictive to try and find a small creature. I suppose a lot of creatures in this are going to have power 2 or less, so it might be okay. It's also another artifact. We're conscious we want lots of different card types, so that could be good for that reason. I think that's okay. It costs 3 mana. It's a bit pricey for a 2/1 creature, even with the potential of card advantage. Okay, Savior of the Small. Beginning of your second main phase. If it's tapped, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Card advantage. That seems good. I can bring stuff back every time it attacks. Unsettling Twins. So 2/2, and you get another 2/2 basically. Yeah, okay. But Manifest Dread might be better than I think, just because you might get a big creature that can you can turn face up. Potentially a bit of card advantage. Shepherding Spirits. Oh, right. Okay. Flying 4/5, and they've got plain cycling. So that's a really great card, I think. You definitely want that. It's either fixing your mana early or it's a big threat later. Gremlin Tamer. This is for the enchantments deck. So it triggers on enchantment, entering or unlocking a room fully. So opening the second door. And you get it makes creatures, it makes little gremlins. Yes, that is good. I think potentially we want to play both of those if we go blue-white. Baseball bat attaches to target creature. So +1/+1, and it taps down something whenever it attacks. So it's a bit like it's pseudo evasion. You're tapping their biggest blocker down. feel like that might be quite useful. But it's not good defensively at all, really. I think um, I think I'd skip that and come back to it. Depends how aggressive you are. Um, if you're always starting off on the front foot, this could be really good, but you might be more defensive. We'll check out the blue stuff. Flood Pits Drowner. Excuse me. Right, this thing. 2 mana Flash Vigilance. When it enters, tap target creature your opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. That seems very good for 2 mana. And you can spend next turn you could spend yeah. So you want to do that end of their turn, stun counter it, and then on your turn you can shuffle it and the stun creature back into the library. That seems great. Yeah, that's a good removal based creature. Piranha Fly enters tapped. 2/1 flying. That's good. 2/1 flyers win limited games. Yeah, 2 mana, 2/1 flyers. Yes, that's good. Stalk Researcher, Defender 3/3. So yeah, this is sort of a classic 3/3 that can't attack unless you do something. Um, no, no, it's just okay. Yeah, we it's a filler card. We come back to that later if we need it. Cursed Windbreaker. This does a Manifest Dread. We attach to that creature, and we give it flying. So this is a 2/2 flying. So with potential upside. Yes, I think that is excellent. Actually, we want that. Erratic Apparition. 1/3 flying vigilance, 3 mana. Gets pumped up when you play enchantments or unlock a room. Huh. It's a little bit. I'm going to say a bit underwhelming, but it's got flying and vigilance. It's going to sort of plink away at your opponent, and it's going to block small flyers. It's going to block. It's going to eat up piranha flies. So I think that makes it good. Fear of Imposters, 3/2 flash. Oh, and it counters a spell. Okay, but the controller gets to manifest dread. Yeah. Creature that is a counter spell. Seems good. Yes. Tunnel Surveyor. Makes another 1/1 creature. An enchantment creature token. Will that trigger our erratic apparition? Yeah, whenever an enchantment enters, so it will. It will do. Um, sure, let's include that as well. Clammy Prowler. We're just including all of the blue cards. They all seem good. Um, this is 2/5, and it's an enchantment creature. I think actually Tunnel Surveyor is just filler. Let's take that out. Let's have some standards. Clammy Prowler makes another of your creatures unblockable. Yeah, that's pretty good. There are certain creatures I'm thinking in particular, Savior of the Small. We want to keep attacking with that and not have it get killed. Um, so we can keep reanimating creatures. So that's pretty good, but I think I might call it a filler card. Come back for it. The Daggermore Megalodon, so that is the blue version of the big island cycling creature. So I think that's great. You always want those. Fear of Infinity. 2/2 Flying Lifelink. Can't block. That seems great. Just Flying Lifelink seems great. And it does something else. And it can come back from the graveyard to your hand. Wow. Yeah. Incredible card. Peculiar Lighthouse is the blue-red tap land. Sure. Think about that. Okay, black cards. Let's get the black-green land in there first. Fear of Lost Teeth. When it dies, deals 1 damage to any target. It could ping a 2/1 flyer off the board. You could kill a Piranha Fly and you gain 1 life. But to me that says sacrifice fodder. This is only good if we're sacrificing it. So I'll skip that. Varvagoth's Faithful is a reanimation card. This is great with our plane cycler, land cyclers. I'm going to include both of those. I think that's good. Baelmerk Leech. Yeah. Direct damage. With enchantments. Not that excited about it. It's direct damage. It's a direct damage trigger. We probably should play it, but it's yeah, it's only good in some decks, so we'll come back to it. The Innocuous Rat 1/1, and it manifests dread, of course, when it dies. Yeah, pretty cool. We'll come back to it. This is a 3/2 that surveils 1 when it attacks, which is not bad, but it's filler, I think. Cracked Skull. Let's just look at the hand, and they make them discard a card. So it's okay. So you're enchanting a creature with this as well. So when that creature's dealt damage, destroy it. Goes well with Fear of Lost Teeth, actually. So it's a creature removal and a discard card. So it's sort of pseudo creature removal. You've got to do another step to get rid of it. I kind of like that. That's sort of good. Killer's Mask. Manifest Dread. Then attach it to that creature so they get Menace. Okay. This is the black version of that card. The Cursed Windbreaker. I think it's also good. Yeah, we'll think about that. Red cards. Hand that feeds. Mutant 2/2 for 2. So it becomes a 4/2 menace if we've done our delirium job. So very conditional power wise. I don't know if we're gonna self-mill ourselves enough. Reverend Gremlin, well, that's just a 2/2 menace straight off the bat. And it can do discard and draw. I think that's good. And we'll include this land. Rampaging Soul Rager. You need 2 or more unlocked doors. And it becomes a 4/4. I think I'm unimpressed with that one. We'll move on. Diversion Specialist. 4/3 Menace. Sacrifice another creature or enchantment, exile top card of your library, and you may play it this turn. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good because it's an evasion creature. It's just has evasion. It's fine. Leyline is useless in this selection of cards. Most valuable Slayer gives. Right, let's assume it's on its own. It can give itself first strike. So it's a 3/4 first strike when it's attacking, which is okay. It's just okay. I think we it's a filler card, honestly. And Bedhead Beastie, unsurprisingly, I'm going to include that because land cycling is very good, especially when it's attached to a big creature in a set where you can reanimate your creatures. It just seems a natural fit. Right, green. Patchwork Beastie. 3/3 for 1 mana. Can't attack or block unless you got Delirium. You can mill a card, beginning of upkeep. Yeah, a filler card for a Delirium strategy, I think. Overgrown Zealot, however, is a mana dork. 2 mana, and you can spend it to turn permanents face up. And I've got 2 of those. That is great, getting 2 of those. Definitely makes green quite enticing. Wary Watchdog, when it enters or dies, surveil 1. 3/1, quite an aggressive creature. I think it's still filler. It's sort of aggro filler. We need more 2 drops. But it's probably going to be among the best 2 drops we've got. The Grasping Longneck is 4/2 reach, and you gain 2 life when it dies. And I like reach creatures because so many limited games come down to an answer to having an answer to their flyer. So we want that, and we want this reach creature as well. 3/4 reach, and it can destroy rooms. Lovely bonus. Very good card. Right, Cautious Survivor. Oh, gains you 2 life if it's alive. It's a 4/4 for 4. It's sort of okay. Uh, might be pretty good. I think it's still a filler card. Bashful Beastie. Manifest Dread when it dies, and it's a chunky boy. It's 5/4 for 5 mana. Um, yeah, another filler card probably. Rootwise Survivor is a 3/4 haste for 5 mana with some upside. Survival. Beginning of your second main phase. So if it survives, I get the idea with survival. If it survived the attack phase and it's tapped, put 3+1/+1 counters on up to 1 target land you control. Okay, that land becomes a creature. It gains haste until your next turn. Unless you've got another attack phase, it's not doing much with that haste, but oh, of course, yeah. The idea is once it's a creature, um, I'm having some interesting issues with my mouse. Uh, so yeah, you can still tap it for mana basically. The idea is if you played that land that turn, it gets haste, so you can tap it for mana. Uh, yeah, sort of. It's gradually turning all of your lands into creatures or making them bigger creatures. Yes, seems good. Let's go to these artifacts here, colorless things. Glimmerlight. Okay, an equipment that makes a creature. Um, can pump up a creature. It's okay. It's an artifact that makes an enchantment, so it's you're getting potentially two triggers for certain things. So I think that's a filler card, I would say. Saw other equipment +2 power, and you can sacrifice a permanent other than that creature or saw to draw a card. Well, that is potentially repeated card draw. I think that might be pretty good. It's not even a non-land permanent. You can sacrifice excess lands to get more cards. I think that's quite good. Malevolent Chandelier, 6 mana, 4/4 flying. And you can put cards from the graveyard on the bottom of the library. Good because it's an evasion creature, I think. So I think we like that. Yeah, put the baseball bat in. There's no other lands. Okay, that is that. So that's all the cards we're looking at to build a deck around, and then we've still got quite a lot of filler. We'll sort of fill out the probably the cheaper spots in the deck here. We'll see what we how many we ended up with from each color. So yeah, just 7 from white. We're looking probably for a 2-color deck with about 10 or 11 cards in each color. So white might be falling a bit short, but we've got other white cards we could put in, which are sort of okay. Um, I think we might. Yeah, actually, we got the really good white card. That's not a rare. We got one copy of Sheltered by Ghosts. I don't know if it's good enough on its own. We got 2 copies of Gremlin Tamer for the enchantment deck as well. So that might be one way to go. Um, we got a cursed recording, which lets us copy instants and sorceries, which might go really well with red and black, maybe. Just thinking of copying Rite of the Moth. That might be good. I think we've got to think about cutting a color first, though. I seem to include a lot of blue cards. So we might just keep it simple and cut white just because there aren't that many cards. Yeah, just go by the principle. If there aren't that many things to choose from, it might not be that great. But we probably do want Right of the Moth. That's the only thing. So over the small is probably the best one. We might splash white so we can cast our Right of the Moth. Let's see. We've got one black spell that kills things. Mirror Infinity was quite good. I think, yeah, 9 black cards to choose from as well. Maybe we just have to cut black. Let's look at the black. God's Faithful. So we've got a black sort of reanimation strategy. Oh, wait. Oh, give up. Yeah, we might reconsider this. We didn't have all of the uncycling. It's 39 cards actually. Um, so red, green. Cards. So, Balustrade Wurm. Might think about sort of 3 toughness deck. Um, could do some two toughness things. Except, yeah, Grasping Longneck is a bit too good. It's got 2 toughness. It's not a curve of really short 3 drops. Yeah. Yeah, we could go for some bigger creatures. Me, to build around Pyroclasm. Yes, it's definitely one way to go. It's a good. The Mana Dogs actually survived the Pyroclasm, which is excellent. Sure, it's manifesting dread creatures. They're all 2/2s. So, but then you can always flip them into divergent type of creature. So potentially drop a Grasping Longneck because it would die to our Pyroclasm. It might be a mistake. Resistance. It's a good way of digging for an extra land, though. Maybe it's fine. Red cards as well. Actually, this thing's quite tough, and it's a 3-drop. So this is we're not playing many rooms, so it's a bit questionable. I think we bring in the Patchwork Beastie. It's got 3 toughness. Double blue is quite a stretch. I think we should do that for this next one. Means we're really, yeah, we've taken out one relevant 3-drop of it. I think maybe we can get away with 1 2 toughness creature in the deck, as long as we don't have too many. Uh, yeah, I think I'll call that a decent first pass. So just a red green ramp deck, I suppose. We've got Moldering Jim. That's ramp 3 mana. We've got a couple of mana dwarfs. Yeah, I'll call that end of part 1, and I'll have a little think about that. Might have another look at the other colours as well, and see what I come back with. Thanks for watching so far. Okay, and I'm back. Right, I've made a few changes to the deck, so I've decided to sort of refocus the deck a little bit on the Delirium concept. So I've tried to get every card in the deck that can mill the deck, so or Manifest Dread, and just get cards in the graveyard, which means yeah, Surveil is important. So I thought we do need to play the 2 Wary Watchdogs because of the extra Surveil trigger, which is going to help our Delirium plan. I will be ending up. I'll end up killing these guys with Pyroclasm, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Um, and also the Grasping Longneck comes back in because it's another enchantment to hit the graveyard. You've got to have different card types in the graveyard. So you managed to get 4 instants, 4 sorceries, 3 artifacts, 3 enchantments, which is it's pretty good. It's a nice selection of different card types. We're not going to do much better than that. Um, I've ended up leaving out a few things. So obviously the cheap red creatures have stayed out because you don't want too many 2 toughness creatures. They're not sort of this guy Gremlin you can draw and discard, but only it's a trigger if you get another power 2 creature into play. So it could help, but it's a bit of a faff to get that working. This is a Delirium payoff, the hand that feeds. Which could be good with a more aggressive deck. I think we're a bit more of a control style deck. We've got a Pyroclasm and we've got the Rollercrusher Ride, so we're sort of aiming to sort of build up a bit and take out my opponent's stuff uh, rather than overwhelm them early on. I just dropped, I think, Diversion Specialist, so it's good. It's a 4/3 menace. It is a sacrifice outlet. You can sacrifice creatures or enchantments to get a bit of card advantage. That could be good, but I'd feel happy about that if I was making lots of little creatures, sort of sacrifice fodder. I don't really have sacrifice fodder, so I think it's just going to be a 4/3 menace, which is okay, which is fine. But I decided to go for something else. I'd probably cut him for the Grasping Longneck, honestly. I think that's what I did there. We've got. I think Most Valuable Slayer is quite good, but I'm not going to play either of them. I'm not going to play Cautious Survivor, and I'm not going to play Rootwise Survivor. So you've got the kind of survivor strategy of getting through with a successful attack and then being rewarded for having a tapped creature in your second main phase, and that's these all kind of go together. Um, but I thought, no, I'm not going to bother with that strategy. Um, so Rootwise Survivor. This guy can actually you can turn your lands into 3/3 creatures as his reward for surviving. Um, there's some scenario where I want to copy my Pyroclasm with Cursed Recording and do 4 damage to everything. Of course, that kills would kill him and all of the lands. I'm not sure if that's a reasonable thing to worry about, but also it's the fact that he's a 5 mana haster that he's only 3/4. He's not that big, so I feel like by the time he gets to turn 5, he might not survive attacking into the enemy. So unless he's got support like Most Valuable Slayer and things. So it's kind of like all or nothing. I think you go for the survivor strategy, you try to have successful attacks by giving them first strike and stuff, or you just drop the whole thing. So that's what I've done in this case. I was thinking about just including Roaring Furnace here, just because it's another removal spell, but I've ended up dropping it. So sort of, it's going to be another sorcery speed removal, and I'm not going to be able to. There's no way of getting double blue into the deck. Actually, I can drop if I'm drop. Yeah, I don't need Peculiar Lighthouse, so I could make because there's actually a lot of green spells in the deck. I want an extra forest in the deck. I think, so I can get a turn 1 Patchwork Beastie more often. Not that it can do anything because you can't attack or block until you've got Delirium. But there you go. It's milling a card every turn is the main point with a Patchwork Beastie. So yeah. So we're going red green Delirium basically. Uh, that is the upshot. And oh, Strangled Cemetery. By the way, that is a black green land. I don't actually need that one either. So we go 8 mountains, 8 forests, and bleeding woods in the lands. I think that's reasonable. Obviously, we get a bit of a lack of 3 drops in the deck, but never mind. Not much we can do about that. We can. I'm not impressed by Rampaging Soul Rager. It's just a 1/4, basically, because we're not going to. Very unlikely to get 2 unlocked doors in the rooms. So, yeah. It's not anything interesting like an enchantment creature. So yeah, that's the deck. And we've got some decent, I think 3 decent rares in those colors. We've got Rollercrusher Ride. Uh, we've got the green 5/5 Worm. And we've got the another red rare. We've got a red green rare that just draws cards. So it we get to try out some rares in these colors. So it seems like it might be worth doing. See what we've got. Well, we've got double red to start. Not ideal. We can cast 1 spell potentially. We could mulligan this one potentially. Of course, it's great if we draw a forest with it, where everything's fine. Do I take a risk on the first game and keep 7? No, I think let's go for a mulligan. Let's see how that goes. We get 2 green this time, but we get 2 Overgrown Zealots. Okay, that's good. Watchdog, quite good. Bashful Beastie and Chandelier. Okay, cool. Chandelier costs 6. That's maybe a little bit too expensive. Put that on the bottom. See if we can get any audio out. There we go. So, Moldering Gym, that's nice. That's gonna keep one of these guys alive. We can get our mountain. Of course, these would be a source of blue mana if I wanted to. Did want to play that blue-red card. Able to scream. Oh no. Loses all abilities. Well, he got me there, didn't he? We'll just have to go ahead. You know what? I'm going to go for a Wary Watchdog. Because I want to hit my 3rd land. Cool, we keep that on top. No attacks. We'll go for plan B. Just go for a something. He's got something horrendous. What the hell is that? Impending 4. Draw 2 cards and discard. Okay. Sure. And impending's got 4 time counters on there. Right. I think it's a gym. Moldering Gym and yeah, another mountain. Weight room is 6 mana. So Casting Dread. Okay, that's our Chandelier. We've only got 4 mana. I think we want to attack with the Watchdog. That's the Surveil. Say its name is interesting. Okay, that can stay on top. Another Zealot. That can probably get us to land number 5. You can replay our Watchdog if you want. What is that? Draw 2 and get a 1/1 flyer. Okay. So we could play a Bashful Beastie. This could get us on land, though. Let's give this a shot first. Did we lose anything really bad? We lost the Pyroclasm. Land or the Grasping Longneck? Let's get a Grasping Longneck and actually play it. And it can potentially block this thing. He's got to use a removal card on it. Stay hidden, stay silent. Taps it. Okay, and you can shuffle it into the library. Okay, fair enough. We'll block a 1/1. That is in play now. I can take a bit of damage. I'm thinking of going for the Bashful Beastie first. Oh wow, yeah. No, I forgot his trigger. Draw 2 and discard 1. Yes, that's potentially let him win. I'm just not using the Dragonfire. Oh, he's got something else good. What's that? That's something ridiculous, isn't it? So he gets two 2/1 flyers with that. Okay. We've got Cursed Recording. Yeah, unfortunately we've lost our Pyroclasm. We can't get it back. Which is how we would deal with that. But 2 mythic overlords he's got. Of course it is. And this thing doesn't... Oh, it does do 6 damage. We're just $1 and $1 short, I think. We should have obviously killed that. I didn't know we'd have an incredible follow-up card. Look at that. Just attack. Draws even more cards. Block a 1/1 creature, take 11 damage. Wow. So the only card that will save us maybe is Pyroclasm when it's in the graveyard. That is what, in the first few turns, turn probably 8 or 9. He's drawn 3 extra cards, or he's got, well, no, 6. On 6 and discarded 3, right? So he's on 15 cards left. He's drawn 7 more cards than I have. He's managed to hit two mythics. We might be able to do a Cursed Recording. I'm dead, but let's try out a Cursed Recording. Let's see if we can do it. So, just to figure out how this works, I think we activate that ability. Scorching Dragonfire on the Overlord. We'll see how if it gets 1 counter or if it gets 2 counters. We'll shoot the erratic apparition as well. Doesn't really matter too much. But he's got Shard Mage Rest. Perfect card. Because of course he does. Right, no attacks. Oh, Bashful Beastie, by the way, got hit with Able to Scream as well. So he's found 3 blue removal spells. Quite happily. I have misplayed because I had the chance to kill his thing, and he has since drawn probably 6 more cards off it. So yeah, Except he may well have had Shard Mage's Rescue up at that point. We don't know. But certainly he could have. He's probably more likely to have drawn into that. Never mind. I think came up against a better deck. Probably misplayed slightly. Just move on, I think. Had to mulligan. Yeah, it was. I went from 2 mountains to 2 forests. I think turned out to be the correct mulligan decision. Okay, Wary Watchdog. Got mountains and forests this time. For the first time this run. This thing you can mountain cycle. We won't do that in this case. I think we can. We don't have anything for turn 3, so we may as well get another Watchdog. Okay, it can give Death Touch to something else. Another forest, no. Don't want another forest. The second red. Get rid of that forest as well, please. I'm sort of confident we're going to find another 5th land, I think. We're too confident about that. Okay, it was 3 forests in a row, so we did not have to worry. We can always, if we want, drop the beastie for a mountain. But no need to do that. He's got his 3 colours. He got his Moldering gem. Metamorphic Expanse. That would be a nice one to have. Yeah, those. He's got 3 of them. Oh my god. Okie doke. In go with the dog. Overgrown Zealot. No, don't think we need that. In the graveyard. Play a mountain and we'll play Bashful Beastie. So our we've got abandoned creatures in there. Room has been we could use an Impossible Inferno here because they could turn this face up into something horrendous. Instant speed, by the way, so it was something horrendous. What do you know? It would have had would have been 7 toughness. We don't really want to trade with the Death Toucher, so we won't attack. Okay, oh that's a big scary flesh burrower now with a strike. Let me guess, it's going to kill my... Get to Manifest Dread. Neither of them are creatures. They both get to lose our big card draw spell, which is a shame. god, this thing. Against that as well. So we get hit with a 5/5, seemingly out of nowhere after our creature has been killed. And our Pyroclasm is pretty useless at this point. So that just gets to have first strike. Now, so it's going to be basically impossible to deal with. I do have Bedhead Beastie with 6 toughness. If I'm feeling lucky, I can chuck him in the way. Or I can get the Weight Room. Let's play the Bedhead Beastie. Let's see if his last card or his last couple of cards are going to be something else horrendous. Oh, first strike and death touch. Yeah, what am I talking about? Of course I can't do anything about this card. And when he gets something stupid happening when he attacks as well, so he gets to put all the counters on when he attacks, of course he does. He gets to give something else death touch when he attacks, because of course he does. And it gets to be 8 toughness, because of course it does, because I've only got 7 power. Yep, sure. 13 damage, why not? So that is the, yeah, Flesh Borrower plus Ethereal Armor deck, I guess. Yeah, sure. Well, we got rid of one nasty thing, but he had, had 3 copies of Flesh Borrower. He's played in his top 18 cards. And, he just needed 1. Okay, 13 damage. Does it have any kind of clever evasion? Let's just let it hope for the best. Okay. Wow, good news. We have Delirium 4. That's incredible. So this guy can actually block. Wait. I didn't think about Weight Room because I could have played that for 6 and had a different creature. I won't worry too much. That's in play. Pyroclasm, of course, does nothing. No attacks. That's it. Right. Just a little matter of 9 toughness to deal with. That one's got death touch now. So I can't even kill an individual creature of his without dying, which is great. I have to chump block with all 3 creatures to live for 1 more turn, which is great. But let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Bashful Beastie. So yeah, it's one of those, if you don't have an answer to the Omnivorous Fly Trap, pretty much game over. That one's doing the most damage, so I'll block that one. we'll look at the positives. We reached Delirium. So my 3/3 creature was able to attack and block. Yeah, that was about it. I think we'll get it over with. I think we'll actually no, I will take a tiny break, but obviously 90% chance this is going to be a 0/3, I think. Um if that if all the decks are like that. Right, little break. Okay, here we go. Let's put my deck out of its misery. Okay, we get the lovely double mountain start again. Probably quite likely to happen, to be honest. What we do have is Pyroclasm in the opening hand. We have Betrayer's Bargain, but really that's going to cost 4 mana because we don't have anything to sacrifice. We could lean on this Pyroclasm and hope we punish a creature rush. Honestly, I'm going first. I should try and find a playable hand. Doesn't rely on top decking. Okay, playable hand found. Can actually put 1 forest back. We can do an aggressive start. We can do a 2-drop into an aggressive 3-drop. I know there are double red cards in the deck. I'm going to put the forest on the bottom. Okay, here we go. We draw the Pyroclasm, which isn't good for our opening hand. I'm going to get rid of it, actually. Assuming my opponent isn't going to swarm me with lots of small creatures. We drew the Rollercrusher Ride, so that's quite good. Okay, that's a toy that can make things unblockable. A lot of deliberating going on over this block. Alright, let her through. Okay, got the double red, play our Grasping Longneck. We could play Rollercrusher Ride next turn to do 1 damage if we really want to to one creature. We're doing 2 damage to do 2 different creatures. Might be a pretty good idea. We could manage that the next turn. Okay, over to my turn again. I'm not going to attack with the long neck. Just attack with the watchdog. So we've got the extra land to play next turn. We're potentially doing a 3-point Rollercrusher Ride. 3 damage to 3 different creatures. He's just flashed in a 3/2. Oh no, cracked skull. So he gets rid of the ride. Nice shot. I'm going to play that for us because he knows I've got it. I'll go in with the Watchdog. Got that one after all, okay. Forest. We have a land in the graveyard. Creature, an enchantment, and a sorcery. So this should be Delirium. I see 2 damage, gain 2 life. If we block, the closer this thing dies, because it's any damage kills it now. We'll keep that in. There's recording. See if we can get any value out of that this time. But he's had a strong opening there, really. Removal card for a creature, and the discard card has got rid of one of my bombs, basically. Maybe the main bomb in the deck. I think Curse Recording's a bit more situational, just a bit dubious. With about, I think we got 4 instants, 4 sorceries, or something like that. Fear of Burning Alive's been discarded. Oh, full damage to each opponent. And we've got a Resurrected Cultist. 3 mana for 1. Wow, okay. Looking good. We're just going to draw land. Do nothing. Basically, Curse Recording is a do nothing card. That's the trouble. It needs another card to actually have any effect whatsoever. But I'm still going to play it because I'm going to imagine it's going to be amazing. We've gone through 14 cards. We found 8 lands so far. Oh, he had an Unstoppable Slasher and he thought, no, that's rubbish. I don't need an Unstoppable Slasher. This is going to reanimate it or something. Need my red-green card draw card. Okay, that's just a little cheap creature. And yes, the Pyroclasm would kill all of these if I'd seen this far ahead. We got our other Mongrel, of course. This one could at least block something without dying, I suppose. So. Not terrible. We're against black-red, so I think we're in the danger zone, life total wise. I think it's time to just chomp block with this Zealot to stop 4 damage. I think that makes sense. See, he's got another. He can kill my my dude that I just drawn. Fair enough. I'm just not drawing anything aggressive or significant, but you can just still kill it. This is actually 9 damage anyway, so I'm forced to block here. Yep, it's another land. Okay. I do like to count the land every so often, just to confirm how badly I did. 9 land in 16 cards. So we got 7 actual cards and 9 land. It happens. And then our Curse Recording is a do nothing card if it needs an instant or sorcery, so it's a high risk card to actually play in your deck. So I got it, and it's just punished me as hard as possibly can. So I've drawn that without anything to go with it. So that's my fault. But I did manage to draw my amazing bomb, and that got obviously forced out of my hand. So things just did not line up well for me today. And we're 0-3 again. It seems every time it's 0-3. I suppose it's my first time doing. I don't have much time to play anymore, so I'm just doing the opens. So it's my first time doing Duskmourne Limited. But I don't think I'm. I didn't feel like I made any huge mistakes. It seemed like I was up against absurd decks that were ridiculous. I mean, the last one was a bit more even, and I just had a terrible draw. And if we can say, well, if you kept that Pyroclasm, I might have done something there. But that's the problem with we got competing strategies, because we got 3 creatures that will die to Pyroclasm. So it's we have that difficult decision: do I keep the Pyroclasm or not, when I've got 2 of my 3 creatures that are going to die to it? It seems like a good idea to ditch it before your opponent's played any creatures. So I don't think that's too questionable. But we saw, you kind of hope for the best when it comes to something like Curse Recording, where it's basically a fork on a stick. And we did have 4 instants, 4 sorceries, so there was a reasonable chance of getting some extra value out of this. But in the cut of thrust of competitive Magic, probably it's a no. I don't think you try and play this, or you try and play with at least 12 instants and sorceries or something. But we had a go. But yeah, I think game 1, the guy had 2 mythics. The little mistake there was I could have killed the 5/3 flyer before it had a chance to draw 2 and discard 1. But I thought, no, I want to play out my creature first and have a threat on the board. But no, there was no time to do that. I think if you let him draw 2, discard 1, he's maybe drawn a protection spell, a removal spell. Yeah, so little mistake there, but it looks like he had the upper hand. Game 2, I think it was the Carnivorous Plant that keeps adding tokens, +1/+1, or +1/+1 counters rather, to creatures. And then he had the Death Touch First Strike combo on one of his creatures. So that was pretty unstoppable. And then we just saw that game, so that was it came down mainly to him removing my bomb from my hand with his with his discard card. Otherwise, that would have turned it around. If I hadn't ditched the Pyroclasm, I wasn't to know he was going to play a couple of. He was playing red black, so you could say, maybe he's going to run some low to the ground aggro, and he did. It was low toughness aggro. Pyroclasm would have been perfect, but we drew it at the wrong time, and we didn't anticipate that. So there were a couple of that was a potential out. He got the right card to get rid of my Rollercrusher Ride, and then we drew a lot of land. Yeah, so That was the mana curve there. We didn't have a lot of 3 drops. In theory, we were trying to ramp out some creatures, but my opponents even had answers to my mana dorks almost every game. They'd get shut down by something quickly. Um, yeah. I could just wonder if playing a different color would have been better if maybe the blue was a stronger color. But I don't think so. I don't think it was blue would have been particularly strong against what I was up against there. Yeah, I'll just yeah, put that one down to experience. Try again. So I think I'm done with the Arena Open. I'm going to try the other one, which is the play-in, qualifier play-in. I think I claim this, and I will not have anything. There we go. Anyway, that is a video. Thanks for watching.